Hey, what's up you guys, the Curious Owl here, and today I have my June TBR. Okay, so the fact that the year has gone by so fast is really scary to me. I can't believe that we are now getting into June. What has happened with time, I don't know. I'm scared. I don't like it. What I do like, though, is the fact that this month we are doing the next round of Battle of the Bookish. I have a very short list in terms of my Wheel of D20 prompts. I have a couple readathons I'm also participating in outside of Battle of the Bookish. So it's going to be, I think, a pretty good month. Now, considering how in May I was a little slumpy in part of the month, I have a feeling that the readathons are going to really help me with getting back on track. So keep your fingers crossed. Let's see how we do. But without further ado, before I get into the TBRs for any of the other readathons and stuff, I do want to quickly go through my Wheel of D20 game for this month, which is going to be pretty quick just because we don't have very many prompts to go through as of now. So let's see what we end up getting. Hey guys, so today we are doing the spins for the Wheel of D20 TBR game. So I did manage to complete all 3 of my reads in the month of May, despite having some real difficulty with getting it done. But I did manage to complete all of them. So I am now able to go down to 2 prompts for the month of June, which is great because my thought is I can combine it with my Battle of the Bookish stuff and other things that I've got going on in the month that I'm excited for, like the 48-hour mini Star Hop readathon. Also, the Litha round of Witchathon, which basically is like a week-long readathon during the Litha summer solstice time. So really excited for that. So let's go ahead and see what I end up getting with spin number 1. And spin number 1 is a pink book. So a book with pink on the cover, or like probably as like a predominant color, or at the very least if I just find pink. Yeah, we'll make that decision as we get to it. But let's get to spin number 2, which is going to be a green book. Okay, so we're going with colors, which, interestingly enough, Cosmo and Wanda, interesting. Also, really good colors for June, with it being Pride Month, so very excited for that. But let's go ahead and figure out what books we're going to be putting against each other and see what we end up getting. Okay, so we have got everything here. So for the first prompt, which was to read a book with pink on the cover, I did decide to go with one of my read or basically unhaul books, my self-destruct TBR, that's what it's called. I went with the Love Hypothesis because there is pink in various parts of the cover. I've been a little hesitant to read this because I've heard some mixed things about Allie Hazelwood in particular. And I know this is supposed to be very much like Raylo fanfic, and I've never been like a really big Raylo fan, so I guess we'll see how that goes. But then the other book I want to read is The Dating Game by Sally Barker. Don't really know anything about this. It was a romance that was super cheap. Figured I'd pick it up, and it had a cute cartoony cover, which when it comes to romances, those are much more approachable for me. So, got my very swirly dark purple D20 here with gold writing on it. So, let's see what we end up getting. And that is a 17. So, if I can get my camera to focus, 17. There we go. So that does mean I will be reading The Dating Game by Sally Barker. Now for the green prompt, I kind of went in a similar fashion, except for this one, I basically decided on a couple physical books. So the first one is They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. This is another book on my self-destruct TBR for this year. And then I decided that one of the things I wanted to do was try to get through some series I've really been liking so far. So I decided to throw in The Titan's Curse, which is book 3 in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series by Rick Riordan. Really have enjoyed the first 2 books and would like to continue with this. And again, it's a shorter book, so a lot easier for me to fly through. So, D20, let's see what we end up getting. Nat 20! Woo woo woo! Look at that beauty, if it will focus. Nat 20! Yeah! So I have been able to go to both of my good picks. So for this, that means we're going to read The Titan's Curse, which, very nice. Love that for me. It's been a good Wheel of D20 this month. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the ass with my one roll next month. Okay, so as I said, the Wheel of D20 books for this month are only 2, and the first one was for a book with pink on the cover, which for this I'm going with The Dating Game by something Barker. Sally Barker? Sandy Barker? Something. I don't remember anymore. But then the book that has green on the cover is going to be The Titan's Curse, which is book 3 in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. Very excited to read this one. I have really enjoyed the first 2 books, and I really think I'm going to enjoy the rest of this series, and this was one more book on my hopefully to finish series list that I can knock off, so I'm very, very excited for that. But now let's get into the books that I will be reading for the Battle of the Bookish readathon. Now, a lot of the books I had really thought about with this were going to be books that could kind of play double because I have other book clubs and other reading groups that I'd like to be continuing to be a part of. So there is a lot that I don't have slated right now officially, but my hope is that over the course of the month, I'm going to find more and more books because there is also going to be another readathon I'm going to be doing later in the month that is going to be a 48-hour readathon, and it is going to be more sporadic in terms of my TBR, which is why not all of the Battle of the Bookish prompts are filled out for right now, because I want to allow myself in that 48-hour time period to read a lot of different things if I can. So the ones I can say I will be reading, though, obviously for the read a book prompt for the general prompts, any book can fit this. So whatever book I finish first in the month is going to be that. And then in terms of a TBR veteran, I would probably say would be this one, because The Titan's Curse, because I've been meaning to read the series for a very, very long time, since I was probably like 10 or 11. So this has been a very long awaited series for me to read. Now, I don't really know what else I'm going to be able to read for any of the other prompts for the month, so I don't really have anything right now slated for my team prompts or for the rest of the general prompts for Battle of the Bookish, because I do, like I said, want to keep myself open, because I will be participating, like I said, in a 48-hour readathon later in the month, which is going to be Stephanie's book versus 48-hour mini Star Hop readathon. Basically, it's 48 hours where you play the Star Hop TBR game that she created, and you basically try to get through the board as many times as you can, or at the very least read as many books as you can in 48 hours. So it's very likely that some of the books I will be reading in that time frame will be fitting some of these prompts, and so I guess we'll have to see how that goes. I really hope that it's going to be an easy weekend where I can do that, but we'll have to see. In addition, I am going to be participating in the Litha round of Witchathon, which for Litha, it is only a week-long readathon because of the fact that it is in celebration of the summer solstice. So a lot of this is pretty much a mood read kind of month, if you will. But I do have some ideas in terms of what I would like to read, because I do have some book clubs that I would like to participate in. First of which is my N.K. Jemisin read-along, where I am reading all of N.K. Jemisin's work to date as much as I can. And in June, we're going to be finishing off the main trilogy of the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin by reading The Kingdom of Gods. Now, there is a novella we will be reading in July, but this is the final novel in this series, and so I am excited to read this. I really liked the first book, and I loved even more the second book, and I feel like this book is going to be just as good, if not better, but we'll have to see. Of recording this video, Brandy has not picked the book club book for her membership book club, so I'm not exactly sure what we're going to be reading. I do believe that there were a couple of options that I would have been happy with, such as The Battle Drum by Sarah El-Arifi, which just got released, Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, which also just got released, and a couple other books that I don't remember off the top of my head, but quite honestly, I'd be happy with any one of them. Next is the Octavia E. Butler read-along that is being hosted by Bree and Maya at Supernova, and this month we are starting off the Parable of the Talents series, or something like that, with the first book being The Parable of the Sower. Again, I don't know much about this. I don't really know much about Octavia E. Butler's work going into it, but I have heard that this is one of her more popular series, but I don't remember if it's only a duology or if it's a trilogy. I'm not quite sure. I know I at least have 2 of the books, if not more, on my Kindle, so we'll see how that goes. Finally, for the Zora Neale Hurston read-along that Bree and Brandy are both hosting, this month's pick is Moses, Man of the Mountain, which, again, never really heard much about, but I've really enjoyed some of Zora's work so far, so I have a feeling this one's going to be good. And if this is a short book, I definitely can get it to work for the Battle of the Bookish prompts, because this would, if it's a short book, I could definitely get it to fit for one of my team prompts. So we shall see. Without further ado, that's really all I have in terms of reading. I know it's not a ton of books really listed because a lot of the month I kind of wanted to lean more into doing a mood reading kind of month and really just kind of open myself up to reading as anything that I really wanted to, especially when it comes to the 48-hour readathon for Mini Star Hop Along. And I really just wanted to kind of give myself a little bit more breathing room because I really struggled in May with my reading and my mental health, and so I kind of wanted to take it easy on myself. So really the only things that I have for sure slated are my book club books, which are 4, and then I have The Titan's Curse and The Dating Game. So 6 books are for sure to be used, but I don't know where they're gonna line up in terms of their content for prompts for the readathons that I'm doing kind of thing. So we're gonna kind of feel it out, see how things go, see what happens, and kind of just go from there. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to be and would like to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys!